Raising athletes, the things that causes all dads to go bald and moms to buy minivans, empowering parents to help their kids succeed. Welcome back to the show, Raising Athletes. We got a great topic today. We're going to be talking about USSSA and all of these rule changes, specifically age requirements. And they made the changes and, good, bad, ugly. A lot of people are talking about it. Some people a little bit confused. So what better topic than age requirements? And we brought in, I'm going to call you an expert, my friend. We've got ourselves an expert all the way from the South. Bryan, welcome to the show, my friend.
Man, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to hopefully help the community. I mean, that's what I do. So I'm excited to be here and talk about it.
Awesome. So, you know what? First, give it some context. Let everyone know who you are, like who you represent. I know you got a great business there. You're not new to softball. My goodness, you're definitely an expert. So let everyone know, again, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, I go by Nashville's Batman now. I'm the guy with the hookup on bats and uniforms and all the gear and everything. But I've developed a great community. It's really cool to be able to go to any park anywhere and have friends everywhere on every team and all of that. So that's my expertise comes from the fact that I've just want to be a part of this community and all. So I started a team for my daughter, who is a 2016, which, that brings up a point. We talk about, well, there's 8U and there's 10U. And so many times we just identify our daughters as, well, they're 2015 and 2016, whatever. Well, now that's going to have to change, isn't it? Because
that's a great point.
Doesn't mean what that,
100%.
So we started a team, and that, different, how travel ball is. But now she just plays for a fantastic coach in Southern Kentucky and all. And I just absolutely love that. But that also frees me up from being on the field to where I can talk to other people, talk to tournament directors. I think there's still some tournament directors that come to me inviting her team that's I'm just a dad on to invite them in. And
okay.
No, it happens a lot.
That's amazing.
So it's just being able to, I guess, have that influence and all. But like I say, keep it in perspective of being respectful of the community and just being a part of it all.
Awesome. Yeah. So I know you're well connected. You do know a lot of these directors all over the place, and you've been well immersed in this. And as a result of your connections, being that obviously your business is involved with athletes and USSSA, obviously, because this is where a lot of the athletes play, right. You definitely have heard of this new change about the age requirements and all that stuff. And it went from very simple, you play your year, right?
Right.
Like that was an easy way of describing it. Now it does get a little bit more complicated. So let's talk about, if you could, let's talk about where it was, right? So I just sort of mentioned it on my end. I know you can't see this, but I'm going to bring up a chart for everyone else that's watching. Right now, there's a chart that I put up, and it's a 2025 season age chart for USSSA Fastpitch, and it breaks down age, and then it's a very simple, very basic graph that they even have on their website. You probably have seen it, right, Bryan? And it just goes 14U and then the year right now, currently 2010, right? And it's just like, that's how simple it is. Right? But now let's talk about it, and I'll let you take it over from here, and I'm going to be putting up a graph for everyone else, is what has happened now. Now I put up a new graph, and it's like all wonky. There's different age, there's different dates of people when they're born. So explain it a little bit.
So yeah, and you asked, obviously I know about it. So back in the fall, there was an email that was supposed to be for internal use only for USSSA, and one of the tournament directors accidentally posted it, and I just happened to be on Facebook that early in the morning to be able to, it's only up for like 30 minutes, but I screenshotted it.
Leaks. There was a leak.
There was a leak. I mean, you talk about 8-year-old softball. There's a leak. It happens.
Right.
But anyway, like immediately, before I had already started talking to people. Like as soon as I saw that, I had to start, had to recruit, and talk to different folks about it. But it all happened so fast then, and then it went quiet, and everybody just kind of thought, well, it's probably coming, but but is it? We don't really know. And then of course they made that announcement this spring. And so what that is now, and it aligns more with baseball and other sports like that. Softball was kind of an outlier when it came to that sort of thing.
That's actually, you're making a really good point. I want to touch on that for a second, is that for all of the parents that are seeing this and they're like crazed by it, what they have to understand is USSSA basically is adopting what's already existing in other forms, like you said, baseball, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, even USSSA baseball had this. So this
Right.
was a big thing. So basically it more aligns with grade level, and how the cutoff is for schooling. It doesn't seem like it will affect that much after this initial season. I think everybody will fall into place pretty smoothly. But here's a big part of it, and especially for right now. But even moving forward, the biggest ages that it will affect is 8U going into 10U, because that's the change from coach pitch to kid pitch.
Oh,
and that
interesting.
transition period is the biggest one that you can have. I
Yes.
mean, obviously there's changes when you go up to 12U and you've got you've got the 12-inch ball, and you've got and I'm not sure if 12U has the longer pitching distance from 35 to 43, but those types of things are
12U is at 40 feet.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So that's where that change will happen for them.
Yeah.
But that's not really.
That's a great point. Wow.
That doesn't affect nearly as much as the 8U to 10U kind of realm. And I'm on both sides of it with my daughters. We can get into that a little bit later, but it is something where it's a panic button right now. Yes. But it'll adjust and it'll adapt. It'll become the norm very quickly, and it makes sense to do this. I mean, I'm a proponent of it just from a simple fact of the simple meaning that it does align. My kid's in third grade. She's with these kids all the time, but she's younger than some of them, or she's older than some of them. Why is she playing with different ones? Why can't she play with her friends? Because that's who she's going to be playing with when she gets to middle school and high school ball. And I'll tell you this too. We talk about how the different NIL stuff and the Diego Pavia lawsuit is affecting all the different eligibilities of the NCAA and all of that, how that trickles down. Well, this rule might affect high school ball more than the rule was ever intended. And I don't think anybody ever sees this, but it's something to watch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's something to take a point of, because when you had age cutoffs, then you had, well, I'm playing with this one, and I've learned to be a part of this team, and I'm competing at this level now. Do I go play for my high school team? And a lot of softball, especially, you didn't have as much school ball, much relevance from a recruiting standpoint, from a pride standpoint, even.
Yes.
But now that you have a cohesive class, I'm playing travel ball with the same people, I'm playing school ball with the same people. We're building this together. Now that's all of that pride and that camaraderie. Pat Murphy at Alabama calls it mudita. Unselfish. Completely selfish, selfless joy with all your teammates. Now you can have that transfer all the way from third grade to 12th grade, and be even in summer, even in spring, even whenever. So that could be a really positive outcome of this. That I think that's a collateral effect that hasn't been ever spoken about.
Yeah, you're talking about the long-term positive effects here, and I think you just nailed it. And just reading, I'm just going to read like some of the parts of the statement from USSSA. They were like, it says USSSA changed its age eligibility determination date for youth fast-pitch softball to September 1st, beginning with the 2026 season. This change took effect will take effect August 12th, 2025. And why the change? To align USSSA with other national programs. You just touched on that before. To streamline age eligibility across the board. You talked about that before. And this one I wasn't really even thinking about too much, but I think this is the best point, is to place all players from one school grade together. I think this is huge. So, from a parent's perspective, I know they're like, oh, but I'm comfortable now. This is what I'm used to. No one likes change, right? But This is, I think, change that only has, from what we're discussing right now, it seems like there's only benefits long term for the kids.
Yeah, I don't see any. I mean, the only issues that anybody should have with this is how these rules are implemented today. But you can flush those feelings this time next year.
Right.
Like we talked about this pre-show, and I think this would be a good time to bring it up. There's a sanction out there, not USSSA, that decided in the middle of the season, because when you get into travel ball, your season runs from August 1 to July 31st. It doesn't go, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're playing multiple sports, that's great. You're still a softball player and kind of supposed to be on the same team in the fall and the spring.
Yes, correct.
And there was a sanction. You know what? I'll just call them out by name. USFA that decided in the middle of like Christmas. I'm talking about this came out, right after New Year's, that they were going to make it effective immediately. That they were changing this age rule. And while I do think that you should commit to a team and run it through from fall to spring, and that be it. There are times where it's silly season, free agency period, whatever people call it, and that time is, for young travel ball is kind of that November, December time. USFA waits till the end of that. Rosters are set, uniforms are ordered, and then they change this. And again, for higher age groups, not a big deal. For 8-year-olds, huge deal.
Yes. Huge deal. So there's financial ramifications. Yeah. The financial ramifications for all these parents, a little unfair, right? And confusing. Now all the organizations, the coaches, they have to play catch up, right? All right, let's read it through. Let's see how it affects us, right? So now they're scrambling. And then for any rosters now that are forced to make changes, how do you do that when everything's already set?
Right, exactly. How do you do that? But how do you justify that? And the other issue is, and this is what's causing some strife, especially here locally, is like the team my daughter's on. We play a lot of USSSA stuff because that's kind of the World Series that we're aiming for in the summertime, and that's what we're building towards and all that. But in Middle Tennessee, again, she plays in Southern Kentucky, and we travel with that one. But there's a lot of teams in Middle Tennessee. We don't have 8U USSSA in Middle Tennessee. It just doesn't exist. For whatever reason, those tournaments don't make. We have a great tournament director, state director. His name's Stan Adams for USFA. He does a phenomenal job for USFA in Tennessee, and in most of the tournaments, he's having those here in Nashville. And do we play those? Well, yeah, we can, but we're at a disadvantage because they've got a bunch of some of them have 9-year-olds, and we don't because we're not set up to play in that sanction. We're set up to play in USSSA. So that misalignment just makes no sense whatsoever. And that's where it's a problem right now. But again, getting back to our previous, you can flush those feelings this time next year. Yeah. It's all going to align. It's all going to be okay. And you got to cut it off at some point. And there's you know what? There are people that out there that have a day after Christmas birthday. I'm one of them. So I could be I would be the youngest, right?
Yeah.
I'd be the youngest if I was in that age group, but now I'm not. But then again, you have people like my youngest daughter whose birthday is the middle of August, and now she's going to be the youngest. You got to cut it off at some point. And here the name of the podcast is Raising Athletes, right? Right. Don't forget, you're not just raising athletes, you're raising competitors. Like, we're talking about travel ball here. We're raising competitors. Competitors are going to compete. You got the adversity of playing against some different ages and some different ability levels. That adversity and that challenge is what develops athletes and what develops competitors.
100%. And I want to go there a little bit because I love this topic. It's the question, and this is an important one because it's not for everyone, but is it better for a skilled athlete to play up? Or is it better for a skilled athlete to play, I'll call it, down at their age level? At what point in time does it matter? Because maybe it does matter at a certain point in time, right? And I think This is a perfect topic for this conversation here. So let's start with you. I know you got some young kids getting it. They're in travel, right? So what's your perspective on this particular topic here of what is the right, like, is there a one size fits all answer to that question?
No, first off, there is absolutely not a one-size-fits-all answer to that question.
Right.
Girls develop at different times. Competitors develop at different times. They develop a confidence and an ego and all of those things at different stages because of different environmental factors.
Sure.
One of my really good friends has a daughter. She's been dominating 10U softball from the circle since she was 7 years old. And when I say dominating, I'm talking about like – she was being sought after across the state as a pickup player when she was 7.5, 8 years old.
Oh my gosh, she's just throwing gas.
Absolutely. What location? Hey, it doesn't matter how fast you throw a ball for.
That's true. That's a great point.
she just really, but she always cares. Always, I mean, always has, always will. Cares so much about putting the work into her craft and taking pride in that. She can dominate that. She has the mentality to do so. So it's good for her to be, to be able to play up. It's also good for her to develop the confidence that, hey, when she was playing in 10U, and that's a lot of pressure on a 7-year-old, man.
Yes.
A lot of pressure on a 7-year-old. So being able to take a step back and say, okay, I'm playing with my age, all the different things that come along with the stuff that's outside the lines of a softball game. That can factor into, and that can help out a lot, but it's really cool to see how she has adapted and grown with that. So for instance, taking it back to my daughter, she came to me when she was like 3 years old, little more than 3 years old, wanting to play softball.
Wow.
I was not ready for that at all. Because that age, you are hurting cats. You are not playing a game. You are hurting cats. And I
Preach
told her,
it. Oh my God, yes. That is rough.
It was completely pointless to me. I couldn't understand why she would want to do that. But she kept saying she wanted to play with her friends. Well, guess what? All of her friends were older. All of her friends were this age where they were born in the fall, born, and all that, where now they could play down really, but she was going to have to play up in order to be able to play with them. Yeah. So I would be sitting in my chair watching TV. She would bring me one of those little Walmart rubber balls that are, inflatable. And a Russell foam bat. I don't have it close handy, but the little foam bats. And we'd go in the sunroom. We'd go in the sunroom, and I would toss that big ball so that she could learn how to hit. And she would bring that to me almost every night because she wanted to be able to play with her friends. Okay. So the challenge of playing up, she did. And up until this year, she's always played with 2014s and 2015s in All-Star, in rec, and travel, all that. Yeah. So the challenge of playing up, the adversity of it made her better. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. This fall, we made the decision to find the absolute best coach that we possibly could, and Ashley Ezel is it. She is great. Wow. And so we play with her and drive 3.5 hours round trip just for that coach. Not
3.5 hours
round trip. I'm counting. It's 145 there and 145 back.
Dude, you got to pack luggage to get there. Holy cow!
Yes. Yeah. It's a full truckload every practice, but to me it's worth it for her to be surrounded by girls who love the game and coaches who know the game. That's what makes it worth it to me. Yeah. So, but anyway, we made that decision to make that sacrifice so that she could be on a 2016 team, not only with all of that, but also for the fact that, she was playing above average, maybe, somewhere the above average to good segment of a 2015 as a younger player. Yeah. So how good can she be with her peers with 2016s? Yeah. And she got on the field, and the first couple of tournaments was like, that's not my kid. My kid knows what to do. Like, and we had a conversation. The pressure, the spotlight was like, I'm supposed to perform now. Like this, I've got to be the best because I'm supposed to be. I have all this experience. Yes. But seeing how after she learned how to overcome that pressure and control that, how much better of a player she got. Yeah. So to your point, it's not a one-size-fits-all answer, and it's not a all-the-time answer. Yes. What fits now may not fit tomorrow, and it may not fit next year. So, but there is a mix of being able to be the small fish in a big
Yes.
pond
Yeah.
or the big dog, the big dog of the yard. I know that's a mixed metaphor, but you know,
Yeah. No, I,
yeah,
I totally get it.
we want to have that
Yes.
varied experience because the varied
Yes.
experience means a more well-rounded athlete.
100%. I remember I spoke with Howie Rose last year. He's the old New York Mets radio announcer. And he said, after speaking of all these pros and everyone else, he said the one thing that he's learned about kids is it's important for them to play at their skill level. And not necessarily they focus so much on age, but on skill. And I think that's actually mirroring what you're saying is, you want to balance a child being able to, when they're younger, play on a team where they can have that confidence, be put in leadership positions, right? But at the same time, you want them to be challenged as far as their skill, as far as their discipline. You want that to be challenged there. And, sometimes you got a really skilled player and it's the right move for them to move up. But then also you got, and I don't know about down south, but up northeast, I think you got a lot of parents who are not very self-aware of their kids. They think their kids are rock stars. And they're not ready.
There's plenty of that down south.
Okay, all right.
There's plenty of that.
Yes, so they're very honest about the skill of their kids. Those are kids that should be playing their age and let them develop a little bit more. And sometimes playing up, it does not solve that problem of making them better, right? So I think it's important to be honest about the child. And right, and that's why it's not one size fits all. It's child specific, and in your case, you got a daughter who she's got skill. She should be playing then up a little bit, right? Be challenged.
Sometimes. Yeah. Well, that's my thing that I try to help people understand is we talk about daddy ball. I mean, I know that's going to be topics that if we're talking about travel ball, that's going to be a topic of conversation.
Sure.
The thing about it is you're not really doing them any favors, and they've got to be put in an environment that they are allowed to grow and be challenged. If you're shielding them from that, you've got to. So that's why I say that. But here's the thing: if you challenge them when they're not ready for it, then that could really hurt some confidence. So being
backfire.
able to gauge that, having an honest conversation, not only with yourself as a parent, but also with your child, of being real. And talking to them as if and letting them take control of that journey is really it's really important.
Yeah. Before we close it out, I want to talk a little bit about the difference. I want to have you back, and I want us to talk a little bit because you represent the South, I represent the Northeast a little bit. Cultures are completely different, and one thing I learned the hard way is up north in Northeast when I played ball. I was good. I was one of the best kids in the Northeast, right? And where I learned that I was not one of the best kids in the country is when my college, we went down south. I remember we played the University of Miami, and I'm like, oh my gosh, holy cow, it's different.
That's a different animal down there.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, wow, down south is completely different. And so, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole here. I want to talk to you about that in a different episode here. But just really quickly before we wrap this up, you said that, your daughter's playing 8U and 10U up north on Long Island. We have no 8U established competitive travel for softball at all.
So that was a conversation that we saw in some Facebook groups. There was somebody from California that was talking about it. Like, do y'all really take it seriously? Look, you can make it as serious or as lighthearted as you want to.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of arguments there, and that will be a great topic for another episode.
Yes.
But the thing is you have control of that. There are plenty of teams here in Nashville. There are plenty of teams that don't go more than 2 hours away. More power to you. Then there's other teams who want to go. There's a team that is in Bowling Green, Kentucky, so not too far away. They went down and won the 8U C-Class World Series in Panama City. Now, we know that there are multiple World Series and all this stuff, but I'm here to tell you that some of those girls can flat out play.
Yeah.
And the thing is not necessarily how their skill level is. They're hitting off of a coach or anything else. One thing that I am on a dead set mission to fix.
Yes.
Don't discredit how much they want it. Like, you can push competitiveness and you can push the skills and all of that stuff and the travel and all the different things. but don't ever take away from a girl who just simply knows that she wants to go play the best. There
Yeah.
are 8-year-olds out there who understand I don't
Yes.
want to play. I don't want to play the girl who is being forced to play
Yes.
softball just because it is the physical activity of the month.
Yes.
There are girls out there who think that that is beneath them. I
Hmm.
remember, I'll tell you this real quick story from my
Yeah.
childhood. I
Yeah.
was on a rec league team with two brothers who played at Ole Miss. One of them played football, one of them played baseball. Fantastic Division I athletes. And I remember vividly 10U baseball. We're in a dugout, and they come in punching their helmet because they struck out. And one kid sitting on the bench, oh, it's just a game. And the three of us made that kid cry. It's not just a game to me, man. I watch baseball every day.
Sure.
This
Sure.
is all I care about. It is not just a game to me.
Yeah.
And there is a separation of children with that perspective. That's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay that somebody's kid may not have that desire, and it's
Sure.
okay that my kid does. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a matter of being honest with them. I'm not projecting that on her.
Yeah.
She just got her own room. What do you want to decorate it as? If I let her decorate that thing, you would look like you're walking into the inside of a softball. It would be optic yellow.
Is
the
that
walls
right?
would be optic yellow.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Yeah,
She's
there you
just
go.
grown up with it. Why
Yeah.
would I take
Yeah.
that away from her?
That's
So
true.
so that competitiveness all
Yeah.
across the board. That's the one thing that we just can't take away from.
Yeah. Yeah, I
from
agree.
any part of it.
No, I totally agree. Listen, we're talking about the population of the United States of America. There's definitely a large group of kids that they want to play, and they don't want to just play in the 2.5 months for spring rec ball, right? They want to continue playing and playing competitively. Don't take away that passion. You know, if a group of young kids want to continue playing, I'm all for it. Especially you touched up on it, and I want to actually go down this road at a different time, but especially girls, they develop physically differently and some earlier. And those girls that develop earlier, a little bit faster, guess what? They're physically more capable. So why take that away from them as well? So you're 100% right on that. And that's going to be for another day because I want to go down that rabbit hole because this is a big one. I think the community, the softball community needs an education on this particular topic. So I think this would be a really healthy discussion. I think it would be awesome. But buttoning it up here with the age, back to the age, I'm going to put I don't know if you could see it, but I'm putting up right now on the screen for all of our viewers here who are watching the podcast here. Again, you guys can subscribe, Raising Athletes, on your favorite podcast platforms, or you can go to YouTube. It's going to be there too. But I've got a chart. This is going to be the chart for next year, Brian, and it's the age chart for 2026, and it includes this cutoff. So let's use 14U as an example. If you are a 2010 born between September 1 and December 31st, you are now eligible for 14U again next year. And that the difference is the old rules you wouldn't be. Right? You wouldn't be. And so it backtracks. Any kid born between September 1 and December, now it almost as though like they gain an extra year as an option, right?
Sure. And that's something too, we talk about different strokes for different folks and how things kind of fit in with that. But let's take a look at 2 points when it comes to that. Now that we've circled back to the age.
Yeah.
Number one, did you ever watch an Alabama football game this season?
Yeah.
Okay. So how old's Ryan Williams?
Oh, I have no idea.
17. There's a 17. Like every pass that was thrown to number 2.
Okay.
There's a 17. Yeah. He was. They made such a big point about that. He reclassified so that he could enter college early. Same thing happened a couple years ago again at Alabama. Kinley Cahalan. Her dad is a fantastic coach. Helps out with the big Birmingham Thunderbolts organization. She graduated early so that she could reclassify and play early. So you're going to have some of that.
Yes.
And that goes into maybe that doesn't happen as much now because she was already playing with a group of girls that were able to go and do that. She had already kind of maxed out her travel years.
Yes.
But now she could go play, you know what I mean? Like there's just some balance to that. So that can affect some recruiting aspect of it in that part. But the second point I want to touch on that actually came up in conversation this morning. Have you ever read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell?
No.
Oh my gosh. If you have any questions about how this rule change affects that book, or how this rule change affects your child, that book will answer your questions. They did a study, and this is completely anecdotal, paraphrasing off the top of my head.
Yeah.
They did a study on hockey players in Canada and how birthday affected professional, how many, like the concentration of birthdays in the NHL and all the professional leagues of that. And you saw where now this is boys. You brought up a great point about how girls and boys develop differently. So there is a balance there. But this is talking about boys, how when all the birthdays clustered close to the age cutoff for signups. The oldest ones were the physically most mature, biggest.
Yeah.
They got the most attention, most training, which made them better, which made them bigger, which made them better. And that's how they progressed. You are, without a question, if you are the youngest in that amongst your peers, you are at a physical disadvantage right off the bat with that. There are things to overcome. Again, competitors are going to compete. So, but there is definitely science behind all of this to where birthdays matter, and you just have to understand
when they're younger. It matters 100%. Yeah. And once they're older, past 20, it doesn't matter, right?
Oh yeah, no. But the ripple effects of the training that you receive.
Yes.
So therefore, when you are younger and you're close to that age group, does it mean that you can't compete? Like, okay, we've talked about my older daughter. Now let's talk about my youngest. She's now, because of this age group, or because of the age change, she's now just a week or two from being the absolute possible youngest on the field. Probably will be most games she plays, she'll be the youngest on the field. Yeah. So, but does that matter? Well, if we go to why Gladwell said that the hockey players got it, was not just because they were physically better, but because they got more attention. So that's something that you can overcome. There are plenty of coaches out there that want to compete, want to teach. Are they all great? No, not all. They're not all created equal, but you can find them. You can find the good ones, and it doesn't matter. The good ones don't have age restrictions. You can overcome those things. That part of it is just part of the journey. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. It's just part of it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Listen, Bryan, you surprised me of how much you are really of an expert here, and I know that everyone watching or listening has really appreciated your explanation of this topic. But I think, listen, we got a little off topic, but I think it was so good because I think you offered really great, valuable insight when it comes to, I think, as a parent, as a dad, right? How do we make good decisions that are in the best interest of our children? And I love what you said about playing up or playing your age and being honest. And I want to sort of end on this one little point here for anyone who's like really upset about this. I think that's coming from we're talking about, again, the USSSA age change. I think that's probably at this point. Now, like going through this conversation with you, I'm confident that what's going on here. The people who are like hostile and upset, I think it's just because they don't understand necessarily. And I'm not trying to be insulting them, right? I think it's just because you saw the change, and I get it. Change is frustrating, but I think what we learned from this discussion, and honestly, based on your expertise, there's no disadvantage for the kids. I think this is long-term going to benefit kids, and I think everyone needs to sit down, read through, that chart, read through some of the rules, get through next year. You'll see come September 1, when these new seasons start for everyone, you're going to see, you know what? This was in the best interest of my kid. This is a good thing. This is good for the team. This is better for the competition. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good and healthy. And I think everyone should just, need to, first of all, it's happening regardless, right? So embrace it. But I think there's nothing to be mad about, actually.
It's right now, it's a shock to the system. Yeah. And there's some uncertainty, because here's where a lot of the uncertainty comes in, not just on the competition side of things, but like, I've got friends on my team. I've got friends on other teams, but some people don't have friends on other teams. Some people, like, this is their bubble, and they're clustering, and that's it. And so, what's going to happen to my team? Well, I would just encourage that regardless of what happens to your team, those parents that you connected with on this team right now are still going to love your kid in the fall. I promise you. I had a team that due to politics and different things fell apart. But guess what? I still love those girls.
Of course.
And I still cheer for them.
Of
and
course.
I still have, and there's, there's just different, there's people that I don't like and there's people that I do like. And I'm an equal opportunity, person when it comes to that. It doesn't matter what logo's on your jersey.
That's true.
It's a matter of who you are. Connect at the fields, guys. Like
100%.
This can be a great community, and that doesn't change because of an age rule. It's
Absolutely.
going to be a shock, and there's some uncertainty, but we're all going to be all right together because of it.
I agree. Well said. Well said. Bryan, thank you so much again. Do me a favor. I want everyone to know where they can find Nashville's Batman. If they want to find you because you're amazing and you're smart and everyone's going to want to talk your ear off, where can people find Nashville's Batman?
Well, I really need to create a Facebook page. Honestly, I haven't even done that. I've just sell off my personal page, Bryan Moyers with a Y, because softball is my why. It's not about I. And so that's really important. But I am Nashville's Batman. You'll find me at every tournament this summer from Kentucky to Alabama. And I cannot wait to meet you and all. I had a conversation, and I'm sorry, I'm going off topic again, but I had a conversation this morning. Somebody said, well, why are you bringing me these, like, UPS runs every day? I'm like, hey, when I came through the door, you said, hey, there's Batman. I'm not going to get that if I ship this to you via UPS. So come up to me, say hi. You'll never forget the beard, and we'll have a great conversation, and I'll cheer your daughter on while we talk. It's awesome. I love this community, and that's where you'll find me, is out on the field. I'm also the official bat and uniform provider of Fastpitch Talk Facebook group. So if you're in there, I promise you've seen either SK, my daughter, doing some bat unboxings, or myself. I absolutely. So I'm very active there. So that's the best place you can find me.
Awesome. And then as far as gear and equipment, because I know you're a supplier of a lot of this stuff, where can people go to order some of this incredible gear that you have access to?
So hit me up. Everything is custom order. I do have a lot of bats in stock. In fact, they're all spread out around me.
You got a lot of toys, huh?
A lot of cool toys. Some things I can't even show on camera right now.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, but every retailer is bound by manufacturer advertised pricing, but that doesn't mean that I can't work a great deal. Trades are welcome. Trades are accepted. So I have a lot of used inventory as well. And then in terms of uniforms, but if you want to learn more about where I come from and all of that, I do own a Destination Athlete franchise. And so you can find that at destinationathlete.com. Amazing.
Bryan, thank you so much for joining us. This was an incredible episode. I definitely picked the right guy, by the way, to help explain this. You're not only an expert, you could tell you genuinely love what you do. You love this community, and you're looking forward to an amazing journey with your own daughters as they get older and they go through this whole experience.
That's right. The whole journey is for me. My part of the journey is just to make her proud, and her journey is her own. So I absolutely love it, and I really appreciate you having me on. And I can't wait to be on again to talk about all the things. I mean, we'll talk bat technology. We'll talk about community and perspective, and anything you can imagine. Well, let's do it.
So I'm going to have to break out, knowing that you're the Batman. I actually got some really cool, legit, like old school Batman comics. So maybe I could decorate. I could decorate I could decorate the studio that particular day with all Batman related stuff, and we can have that sort of theme. I think that would be awesome.
So I'm actually I'm sitting in basically a room that is just full of stuff right now, but it's going to be my office and inventory. Nice. And the wall's going to be next time you see me, the wall will be black. So we're getting the Bat Cave.
You're really embracing it.
Bat Cave going.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, listen, your daughter's lucky to have you as a dad, and it's pretty cool that she gets access to all this new cool toys. Oh my gosh, she's probably the envy of every kid. Getting access to that stuff. So awesome. We're definitely going to have you back. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. And guys, listen, raising athletes, share this. This is a growing community. We're here for the parents. So if you got topics or interests, let us know. We'll find someone to talk about it and, give you guys the resources you need to get through it. All right. We'll see it. Listen, this is a community effort, right? It takes a village, right, to raise a kid. I think it takes an entire community of softball people to help parents get through this. And you definitely helped us out with that today.
Good deal, man. Well, I appreciate it. It does take a community, and that's what makes it great. Embrace that part of it. That's 100%. What makes it great.
100%.
Happy to be on.
Awesome, man. All right. Take care, buddy. Take care, everyone.